All right, I'm not sure we're live, so open up your phone.
Okay.
And
repost.
And go to my page if we're live, and just hit the repost on the live stream if you see it.
So it does say this broadcast is not available.
Ooh.
Is that bad?
Maybe.
Should I not retweet it?
Yeah, retweet it. Let's check it out.
Retweet it.
Yeah. Let me go to my own here. My guest today is one of my favorite follows on X, Megan Johnson. Megan at Megan Sarah J. Let me put up her handle on here, and you should be following her too, because she's a very talented writer.
Oh, thank you.
You are very welcome. And let's see here. Let me go to my page real quick, and then it says I'm live. No, we're live. We're good. Somebody's watching us. Maybe it's me. I don't know. All right, awesome. We are good to go. Thank you so much for coming on the show, Megan. Let me just straighten this out. We'll clear the title here so people have your name and your handle. Follow her, and we will go like this. So I started following you like years ago, and I just, it cracked me up because if you go to her profile, I'm going to read this. When I was 5, my parents cut my hair short, and an old man said, "Move along, son." I was left on a school bus once.
Entirely true. Entirely true.
So right there, I always thought, I was like, all right, this lady's got a great sense of humor. And since then, you have been writing, and you're a freelance writer.
Yes.
Could you just move the mic? I want to make sure we get
closer to me.
Yes, perfect. You're a freelance writer. I've read, whenever I come across one of your articles when you post it on X, I'll definitely click through and take a look. You've read about a lot about culture, entertainment, different things. You know, things that I think most people just generally like to read about.
Yeah.
How'd you get there? Tell me, give me your backstory. Let's get into it.
It's an interesting one. I always wanted to be a writer. Always, I declared in the 2nd grade that's what I wanted to do. But I did not understand how to get from point A to point B of how to do that. I was an English major in college, and I kind of thought I would always do kind of like an academic type writing. And after college, I wasn't doing much. I think I really bounced around. I was a mess. And I had jobs where like my day would be writing 200 descriptions of rugs. Like that's...
Okay, so like marketing type
yes,
stuff? Yeah, all right.
Yes.
What they call that, copywriting?
Yeah. And extremely like low level copywriting, and these were like temp jobs, writing marketing for literally 200 rugs a day. And I mean, I did a ton of different stuff to pay the rent from, I worked as a nanny for years. I sold my blood. I did just about everything I could.
How much does blood pay?
$50 a pint.
Really? Is
Yes.
that the going rate now?
I don't know. The place that used to take it in Brighton Center shut down, but I don't know. You can do it. I think you can still do $50 a pint, but if you're ONEG.
If you want to move it to that direct, yeah, if that's easier.
If you're ONEG, the universal donor, you can do it more often, which I'm not.
Okay.
So if you're ONEG, you're golden.
I think I'll have to look in my wallet. I have a card.
Yes.
That says it. Okay, so $50 a pint. At least that was the going rate. You're not doing that now, are
No,
you?
I'm not.
Okay.
I am donating tomorrow, but I do it for the $15 Dunkin' Donuts gift card.
Okay, that's good. That's a fair. That's fair. Okay, so you were struggling, donating blood. Donate. Well, yeah, getting paid. You were selling your life force. To make money. But how'd you break into writing more about what you wanted to write about?
So when I actually I had a lot of personal problems at the time. And when I finally kind of got myself together, I realized basically that in order to become a writer, I would basically have to write for free in order to build up a portfolio of work. That's really what you kind of have to do.
Yeah, I mean, most of the writing I've done is for free.
Yeah.
But I do business as my full-time job, so it's like I enjoy writing, right?
Yes.
So and when I get published, and we can get into like other writing and who you think are good writers and where to write and all that stuff later. But yeah, you're right. You have to basically prove what you're doing is worthwhile and people want to read it. So is there anything, I should have asked you this before we started. Is there anything you don't want to talk about? Because you mentioned like you had your personal life.
Oh no, you can ask me anything.
Okay, so what was going on with with?
Oh, I'm very open about it. I had a drug problem when I was younger.
Oh, okay.
Oh yeah.
All right. What was the good stuff? What'd you like?
Oh, cocaine, alcohol, narcotics. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
All right. I never did coke.
Yeah, you didn't.
No.
You missed out.
No, I don't think I did.
No, I'm totally kidding. It was a lot less dangerous then, honestly, because now there's so much crap in it that
the fentanyl.
Yeah. So it was a lot less dangerous, honestly, at that point.
Yeah, the hardest drug I did, so not to divert from your story, because we're going to get back to that in a second, but just for full transparency for everybody out there, I smoked pot in college a fair amount, almost flunked out, barely got by, quit in college, because also I didn't like the way it made me feel. I was a lump of shit for the next day. And after that, I did mushrooms once. That was pretty cool. I don't think I'd do it again. I got real paranoid at the end, and then that's it. Like cocaine has been presented to me, ecstasy, or what the kids call it today, Molly.
Yes.
It's been MDMA. It's like, oh, you'll like it, and I'm like, I used to be like, I know I'd like it.
It's never as good as the first time. That's the thing.
So so I never did any of that stuff, but ton of pot, mushrooms once, and then I don't even like pot now.
Yeah, just kind of makes you sleepy and want waffle fries.
Yeah, I was just useless for the next day. But so, all right, you liked the booger sugar, some boozing, and I still but I should say I do still like a nice cold martini.
Yeah.
On a Sunday.
Yeah. Yeah. No, and I mean, I drank heavily too, and I mean, I spent like $50 a day on narcotics.
Okay.
I drank heavily. I benzos big time.
Benzodiazepine.
Yeah, benzodiazepines. So like Xanax, Klonopin.
What does that do?
Just relaxes you. So basically, the whole lorazepam culture that's kind of come out with the White Lotus.
Okay, this is why I wanted you on the show. This is why I wanted to do an episode with you, because I don't know what that is, but I can imagine. All right, so let me check that. The only illegal drugs I did was weed and mushrooms. I've had a couple injuries, and then I'd get some Percocets, and not it didn't form a habit. Yeah. But I could totally see how somebody could form a habit with that stuff. So, but this is not. This is diet.
No, benzos and opiates are different. Okay. Opiates hit people very differently. For some people, they might have knee surgery and get opiates, and they take them, and they just feel like they're going to puke all the time. It's torture. And then some people take them, and they feel like they're in heaven.
No, it was great.
Yeah. Yeah. That particularly happens a lot of times for people with really traumatic backgrounds. I mean, obviously, I don't know your background, but that is sadly the case, and that's why you end up with a lot of people kind of.
I don't think. I mean, it wasn't any more traumatic than. I mean, people have had more trauma in their life than I have.
And then, that's what kind of leads them onto the path of heroin, because it's much, much cheaper.
Okay.
And that's kind of what leads them to be sitting on Mass Ave.
So, so the White Lotus, so what's the culture that you're talking about?
Oh, so Parker Posey's character on the White Lotus is basically someone who she loves lorazepam. And so she cannot fall asleep without her lorazepam. And I don't want to ruin the whole series for someone.
No, go. Spoiler alert. Spoiler alert. Go ahead.
It's wonderful and wonderfully done. But as her husband is getting investigated for financial crimes, he's so overcome with fear and anxiety that he starts taking her lorazepam.
Okay.
And he's just overwhelmed with anxiety. And so she is like, where's my lorazepam? This whole time. It's so wonderfully done.
Yeah.
And one time I interviewed her, and the entire time she was holding a live chicken.
Wait, when did you interview Parker Posey?
Probably when I worked at the Herald, so like 2012 maybe. Yeah.
Okay.
She was just holding a live chicken. It was just sitting in her arms like a baby.
Why?
Well, I mean,
Is she
okay.
being like an artist and all that bullshit?
No, not at all. It was a movie about chickens. I should have added that for context.
Okay, all right.
So so he keeps taking them. So she's very reliant on them. So it's so funny because people now have been going to their doctors and being like, can I have lorazepam? Which is interesting because those of us in recovery are like, we were chewing that stuff when we were teenagers.
Just like a low level buzz of relaxation kind of thing.
Yeah, which can unfortunately be maddeningly addictive.
Yeah, it sounds nice.
Yes,
yeah.
it is.
If you don't have if you don't have the emotional / spiritual fortitude to get rid of your anxiety.
Yeah.
Maybe fortitude is the wrong word, but maybe the tools.
Yeah.
Let's say if you don't have the toolkit internally to handle your emotional baggage,
They can be a godsend for people who can't sleep or people who are riddled with anxiety. I mean, I'm 100% an advocate for, modern medicine, but they can be, a curse for other people the same way opiates can be.
Yeah.
For a stage 4, pancreatic cancer patient, opiates are a godsend. For, a sexually abused, teenager who picks them up, they're a nightmare.
Right. Okay. So you've moved on. You're in, recovery. You've probably been sober for a long time, and you're not like California sober. You're like, you're real sober.
I'm like sober,
which is cool. I mean, sometimes I think it's like, I don't, what do I drink? Maybe one cocktail a week, maybe, right? It's not something, but I could I could put this down. Coffee? No, I need my coffee.
Yeah,
I need to.
I would rather
I thought you'd walk in here with dunks.
I was afraid to be late. So, yeah.
It would have been fine. I wanted to talk to you about your coffee habit.
It's bad.
Let's see. So, but you're fully sober, probably for clearly a long time. You're thriving in your
13 years. Yeah.
13 years. That's great. But so you mentioned 2012. You were working at the Herald.
Yeah, I worked at the Herald till Christmas 2012.
Okay, so when did you start there?
2010.
Okay. What were you writing at the Herald?
I was at the inside track.
Gail Fee
and Laura
Raposa. I remember this. And they had a show, right? They had a radio show?
No, TV show.
A TV show.
Yes.
Did they must have hated Bianca Della Garza. Do you remember her?
Oh no, they loved. Well, I mean, no.
Jealous.
We had a great relationship with her at that time. She was absolutely lovely. Yeah. Whenever we spoke to her or wrote about her, I mean, before she sent me a cease and desist, but
Why did she?
Because I posted public documents, which key phrase, public documents.
Public documents, you can do that. Yeah.
So after that whole case with the Alden shoe guy.
Was she married to that guy?
No,
dating him or something? No.
Yeah, no. There was a wonderful, wonderful story that Gretchen Voss did for Boston Magazine that explained the whole thing. I mean, obviously, I don't want to get sued, but
no, we'll keep it in legalese. Don't get sued. We'll just say allegedly. Anything said here is alleged.
No, Bianca was always absolutely lovely to me, absolutely to us. She was a very nice person. But yes, when I was just doing my job, and I posted public documents, and she sent some big lawyer after not just me, like every single reporter in Boston who covered this. Okay. Yeah, it wasn't. Right, so it was
bullshit.
not just
It was
me.
bullshit. Okay. Yeah. So, all right, you worked for the Inside Track.
Yes.
So everybody would always read the Inside Track.
Yeah.
In Boston, and it sort of fizzled away.
Oh yeah.
I think probably social media killed it. How did that?
No, No, I mean, I think social media eventually killed it, but no, I think the Herald itself kind of killed it. There was so much. There was another great story Boston Magazine did about kind of the oral history of the Inside Track. There was so much trouble inside the Herald at the time, and so much battling between the Inside Track and the management of the Herald that the whole situation the whole Herald itself kind of ate itself, and I mean, kind of led to what it is now. Where there's no newsroom, which is kind of really unfortunate because for young reporters, it's such a, a newsroom is like is alive. It's like an organism,
Well, there are people. The model has changed. By the way, I should point this out. Rewind to the beginning of this episode and check out Megan's social. She has her. You have your mud stack. What is it? Muck rack. For anything. Do you do Substack or anything where you get paid?
No,
or
I don't
like
do
that?
Substack.
You want to promote?
No, I don't. Basically, like, I'm constantly just like writing stuff. I write for all different sorts of publications, basically.
Okay. You get paid by other people?
Oh, yeah.
Okay, cool. So, but that's the model now. It's like, how do you make money? So many people are willing to just write for free, put stuff out there, interesting content.
I don't write for free.
Good on you. Well, this is but I remember, when I used to do TV, and I did TV for free for like 5 years. And then Sue threw me off her show for, calling out some stuff about Kamala. And anyway. And then they invited me back. Some producers would email. And I'm like, you know what? No, here's my per diem. You're getting paid. I'm done. I'm done. And everybody, the guests you see on those shows don't get paid. The hosts do.
Yeah.
I'm like, I'm not providing content for you anymore if you're getting paid and I'm not getting paid. You don't have to pay me much, but you got to pay me.
Yeah.
And they're not doing, they didn't do that. So I was like, okay, I'm done. And by the way, this is what we're doing right now is way better anyhow. But the model for the Herald, I think from a business standpoint, what I never understood that newspapers still don't do is it should be when we were growing up. By the way, like you Gen X?
No, I am a millennial.
Older millennial.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. I'm Gen X, right?
Okay.
So
I am 40. Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Well, that's good. You still have a grasp of reality.
I do have
and Gen Alpha.
An unfortunate grasp of reality.
But remember when we were kids and you could go by a newsstand, and if you wanted to buy an edition of the Globe or the Herald, you'd throw down 50 cents or $1.
Yes.
And you'd buy it. That's what it should be now. Everything, I have to subscribe to the Herald or the Globe or to whatever magazine rather than just I'd pay you $1.99. I'll forget about the $1.99. Make it easy for me to just click, tap.
Yeah.
I get 24 hours of access, shut it off.
Yeah.
And I'll see you in 2 weeks.
Yeah.
Don't make me subscribe.
Yeah.
And people like to get behind the paywall. I never understood why that couldn't be an option for, it's just a payment structure. Sure, people will subscribe, or you offer it to people like, hey, $1.99 today for 24 hours of access, or you could do, $6.99 a month or something like that. And by the way, the Globe subscription model is so screwed up. But what was that? That was like the time that they were phasing out the they were having trouble keeping up circulation for the Herald when you were there. Sorry, I'm jumping around. Oh,
yes.
a bunch.
No, it's okay. Yes. So at the time, they had just changed editors when I came in. Kevin Convey had just left to go to the New York Daily News, and Joe Shaka had taken over. And there was a lot. I don't know exactly what the subscription numbers were at the time, but there was a lot of change at the time. That was at the time when we moved from that building on Harrison Avenue,
I remember
which
that
is
building.
now a Whole Foods.
Okay.
And then we ended up, and at that time, that was when they had gone through their first cycle of buyouts. So there was really still a lot of great, amazing reporters of all different ages at the time in the building there. That's not there anymore. You're probably not going to find anyone over the age of 30 working there anymore because how the hell are they going to pay them?
Yeah, you can't make a living.
No. And that was such a gift because I got to learn from those people. Like, what a privilege. And so then in, I believe, 2012, we moved to, Pat Purcell made a gargantuan amount of money selling that property, and we moved to the Seaport, and which was lovely because there weren't mice, and it was a beautiful space. But there was a tremendous amount of conflict between the inside track and the editors. And
what What was the cause of that
Oh
conflict?
my gosh.
Why would anybody care? Like, they're making, people are reading the paper because of that sometimes, and
Yes.
they're just good content. What would the
They
conflict
were
be?
reading the paper because of that. The Inside Track and sports sold the Herald
Mm-hmm.
100%. The sports team was exceptional. And the track, we broke national news. There was a lot of personal infighting between the editors and the track. And I don't understand a lot of it. I don't know decisions that they made that does not make any sense to me, like cutting the track in half. We previously had 2 pages and they would cut it down into 1. Why would you do that if you're the best-selling section?
That makes no sense.
No, it doesn't.
Well, jealousy? Professional jealousy? I mean, what, you don't...
Yeah.
Or is this just like Suits going like, well, we have a great product here. I'm going to... Like Suits for TV shows, like, well, I'm going to give you some notes.
Yeah.
Because I need to look like I'm, instead of just hands off and let you guys do your thing.
I think it was a lot of like personal punishment against, the track for other things. Also, I think I was so low level that I was not given like...
No, you didn't know the inside.
Yes,
You
no.
didn't know the
there
inside
was so
track.
much other stuff going on that I did not know the actual inside track. I was the assistant, but so I did not know a lot of the stuff that was going on. But the thing that was incredibly lucky for me is that because my bosses were so consumed by all the crap that was going on, I got to do a lot of the work.
Okay.
And that was such a privilege.
What I remember at the time, it was gossip, right? I mean, it was gossip.
Yeah, we weren't allowed to say that word though.
I don't blame him for that. Okay. What I liked about it was that it was gossip, but what also irritated me was like they would be like, this mid-40s businessman was spotted with somebody who wasn't his wife at the Four Seasons Hotel and blah blah. I'd be like, this could be anybody. Like what it wasn't like specific enough. Like they were outing them, but they weren't really, because you would like, there's 500 people that could have fit the description. Like, how did you work around that?
So if it was anonymous, it would have been, do you remember the column, The Naked City?
Yeah, yeah.
Okay, so if it was anonymous, it would have been in The Naked City. Otherwise, it would have
I think it was, okay, yeah.
Yes. So The Naked City was so wild because the thing about that is a lot of it was like called in by the people who it was written about.
Oh, like publicists and doing placement, or like the people themselves?
Like the people themselves.
Oh, so like what? All right, so what Trump used to do when he was John Barron.
Yes.
He would
like
call in
so
his
that
tips to
mid-40s businessman that you
Yeah.
saw like out with some lovely lady, that was probably him being like, "Hey." Yeah.
That's
so
great.
that was like a lot of that.
Cool.
But then eventually we weren't allowed to do that anymore. So we just kept getting like stripped of all our kind of autonomy.
All right, so you really cut your teeth there.
Yes.
That's great.
Yeah, it was wonderful.
No, that was a good. They should resurrect it or something. I mean,
Yeah, in the area of social media, yeah, it is so different now.
I mean, here's the thing. I'm still, maybe it's just my age or how the content I grew up on. I will still read a long form content. I still will read a good article from good writers. I will do it, but you got to be, a thread on Twitter. It's like, no, I'd rather if you actually had the article. Like
Yes.
if you pay for the article feature, I would actually read the whole article.
I think you might be in the minority, unfortunately.
Probably.
Sometimes, people are so desperate to get their information from like a TikTok, or they're choosing between a TikTok and an article, and it's I think our people's attention spans have gotten so poor that they do not have the mental capacity to read things sometimes, which is pathetic. But I think that is a component of it.
Okay. Yeah, that's fair. So after the Inside Track,
Oh my gosh.
maybe fast forward through the last 10 years if you want to cover. Where'd you jump to next?
So yes, basically I was like, I'm going to freelance. Not a clue what I was doing. Not a clue. I went into Barnes & Noble in the Prudential Center and wrote down all the names on the magazines in there. The store, nor half the magazines exist anymore.
Yeah.
And I was like, I'll be a freelancer. I had no clue what I was doing. I was like 28 and clueless. And I just started out doing the best that I could. And in the last 12 or so years, I've built kind of like a sustainable business for myself, just freelancing. I do kind of half of my work is journalism, where I write for a ton of different publications, and then half of my work is for people who don't know how to put a sentence together, and bring me on to write anything like their blog posts for businesses, for social media.
Okay.
I run social media for everything from a restaurant to a divorce attorney. And I, do a lot of that kind of thing, like blogs for companies, that type of thing, because, well, first of all, I know their checks are going to clear much faster. Publications, freelancers are always the last people to get paid.
Right.
And you're often going to have to fight for that paycheck.
Yeah. Some like bespoke journalism kind of thing, a little bit. That's cool.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's good.
Yeah.
You like where you're at?
I do and I don't. I'm in a period of a little bit of dissatisfaction.
What needs to improve?
I'm in a bit of a dissatisfaction. I think, well, first of all, I will say I am like a seeker. I am always wanting to take things to the next level. I would like to be challenged a bit more in the assignments that I'm getting. I feel that I'm not always getting the assignments that really kind of show what I'm capable of.
Okay.
I do feel that.
What do you
way.
want to? What?
I feel like there are some things that I have written that have really shown my reporting skills. I do feel genuinely in my heart I am a good reporter.
So you would consider yourself more, all right, so I draw a distinction between reporter and, say, columnist or something like that. But because a lot of the stuff you've written, I've seen that I've read, has been, you know what, it is reporting, right? You're reporting on something, on some news going on, rather than, say, your own musings or internal monologue.
I do kind of consider myself a bit of a jack of all trades, though. I do have a lot of thoughts about a lot of different things. I do tend to avoid anything that takes a point of view of things, just because I obviously don't want to seem biased on anything, and I'm pretty straight-laced in that view, so I try to be very good about that. But yeah, so I do try to avoid that.
Okay. But what do you want to get in? What do you want to write about? I mean,
I would like to write a book.
If you're freelance, you can do whatever you want on the side, just write more, right? I started a novel that I had to put down for a minute, and but you can just write it.
I can.
Is it that writers lazy? Writers are notoriously lazy. I mean, I'm not saying calling you lazy.
No, I totally understand.
But
writers are there.
We are lazy. If I call myself a writer, I'm lazy.
Because so me personally, I'm not lazy. Mm-hmm. And the thing is, I basically am already at the point where I'm trying not to work 7 days a week. And I've already kind of sacrificed a lot of, aspects of my life in order to get, I feel where I am now, that I can't figure out how the hell am I going to write a book, How am I going to take the time to write a book? And I mean, I basically have to accept that, if I want to do something bad enough, I'm just going to have to do it.
Yeah, well, that's anything in life.
Yeah.
If you really want it, that's what separates people who say, "Oh, I always wanted to write a book," or "Oh, I always wanted to do fill in the blank," and those who do fill in the blank, right?
Yeah.
That it's. What have you sacrificed? You mentioned sacrifice.
I mean, so I have always worked, and I worked weekends always for the last several years, pulling extra shifts. So I could buy my own condo. And, that was my two greatest dreams in life were to own my own home and to write a book. And so I've knocked, one of those off.
You're halfway there.
Yeah.
I remember following your Twitter X drama when you bought your condo.
Yes.
Where you, and you're living in Eastie?
Yes, I live in East Boston.
All right.
So that was just kind of a long drawn out process that ended, every single challenge that I went through during that process was ultimately worth it. But yeah, I'm so grateful that I went through it. And basically, I just I need an idea of a book to write.
Okay, all right, that's yeah. I mean, that's when I started writing my novel. I did have an idea of what the novel would be. I didn't just randomly sit down. I go that would be good. And I should just do it.
So my concept now is I try to read like as much as I can in the hopes that will kind of like feed some sort of like knowledge into my brain of like to like, you know, get something cooking of like what the idea of what I should write will be.
Well, I got to tell you, I mean, if you could scan your own social media feed, especially on X, and probably have some good ideas. There's some topics I put in the show description that I do want to get to.
Oh my God, yeah, go for it.
Because I mean, it was wild. What the fuck were you doing in Canton last week?
Oh my God, I was just going to a friend's house for a birthday party. And, you know, I took down that post because I felt so bad.
Wait a minute. I looked for it.
I took it down because I was getting skewered by the John O'Keefe people. And I felt terrible.
Oh, yeah, I guess there's that aspect of it.
Yes, and I did not even think of that, which, of course, is my stupid...
Well, okay, so this is the thing. Fair enough. That, you know, like you do have to remember that, and because we do get consumed with the drama of the Karen Reed trial itself, and then it was all news. You forget that they fucking killed the cop, right? And I'll say that on here, you know, Mr. Bloody Knuckles, and we'll leave it at that. I have my own opinions on it. Like, first, you know, I'm mostly political. We're not getting at all political today. Don't worry. But there's problems, right? So we all, like, I'm a masshole. And would you grow up in Connecticut?
I'm from Connecticut.
Okay, all right. So I grew up as a little kid in Norwood, which is right near Canton, and then moved away for a little bit for middle school and high school, and then came back to Mass. But we saw everybody who followed this story was like, I want your opinion. In my mind, she clearly didn't do it, right? So it was so abundantly obvious, and then the prosecution moving forward, the inconsistencies in the timelines and the stories of all the witnesses, quote. So yeah, it captured our attention. It captured the attention of everybody in the country, and rightfully so. But we do have to remember that, you know, John O'Keefe was killed. Yeah. So what did you followed it probably even closer than I did, and maybe not as close as some other people out there, but what do you think when?
I mean, I was more, it's not what was happening in the courtroom that fascinated me so much as more the phenomenon of everything around it. Like the fact that there were people, you know, dressing up in pink and with the Solo cups, you know, standing outside and, you know, protesting, that created this like worldwide phenomenon just is fascinating to me. You cannot make this stuff up. Mm-hmm. You know, when we talk about, you know, people creating movies out of crimes that happen in Massachusetts, I am utterly awaiting whatever is going to be happening here.
Well, did you see the picture? I think Turtle Boy posted it. Him and Ben Affleck.
I did see that.
I mean, well, yeah. Why wouldn't Ben Affleck wanted to, you know, get the rights to that story? And by the way, kudos. I've said this before. Kudos to Turtle Boy for he was the one who was on it first.
He was on it first. I didn't really follow very closely. I mean, he had so much content on it. I was like, honestly, very overwhelmed by it.
I think I've said this before about him. Like he has the best sources. Hands down, people feed that guy information, Aiden. And good for him for doing it, but his writing style it leaves a lot to be desired as far as grammar and titles.
I can't deal with it.
And even the website itself with the pop-ups, or I haven't been on it actually in a minute, but the pop-ups used to drive me insane. But like you'd click through all that stuff because you're like, wow, this really happened, and he'd break down any given story. But I think him being first on it and staying on it led to her being free.
Yeah, I mean, he certainly played a vital role in it. I mean, the fact that she had exceptional lawyers played a valuable role. Yeah. And, I mean, I'm utterly fascinated by their role in it, by the fact that you can, you know, watch videos of them having dinner parties and making a meatloaf on Twitter together.
That's odd. It was, I don't know.
Unusual, but utterly fascinating.
Yeah.
Like, what? These are just things you never would have think of. These are the lawyers becoming characters in a story. This is O.J. Simpson level.
Well, I think the one thing that I can say is addictive, which is attention and, especially media attention. It's why people will do what they do for a lot of reasons. Like, look, I won't lie. When I used to go on TV, it was like, oh wow, like the lights and the just the camera you're on. You can say, hey, turn on at 8:00 tonight. I'm going to be on. You get that attention. There is something intoxicating about that when people are paying attention to what you're doing.
Yeah.
And I think I think for a lot of people, they get overcome with it. It's why kids are addicted to social media.
Yeah.
Is because you want the likes. You want
Yes.
even what we're doing now. I want people to watch it.
Of course.
But I also want it to be a quality
Yes.
experience. But you still want people to watch it, and you, because you're doing something unique, you're gaining notoriety for it, but not just the notoriety itself, but what was the Jackson? What was it?
Alan Jackson.
Alan Jackson. But
Which
yeah, it's got to be like
I
nobody
got
knew him
confused
before.
with the country singer, but for a long time.
Yeah, it's not the same
Yeah,
man.
it's not the
He's a
same
very
guy.
talented man.
Yes. And
Yannetti. Michael Yannetti. Right. So
yeah.
so those guys, but nobody knew them. Maybe had some small time notoriety, but now they're going to be, lawyers, so they're probably very, very wealthy, but they're
Yeah.
going to be really famous now
Yeah.
for this case, for getting her off and doing a good job doing so. So, are you still friends with enough journalists? What do they think of like
Yeah.
the blogger type that, Turtle Boy Aiden calls himself a journalist now, which fair enough. I think he can. Is there, because I remember back when he was starting up, people would thumb their nose at it, like quote unquote real reporters would, give him a hard time for breaking stories that would eventually wind up in the Herald. So I think shedding that attitude would, it's sort of just fallen by the wayside. Legacy media is just, I don't know, maybe.
I don't agree with that entirely. And I thumb my nose at it a bit because of the other things that he posts.
That's fair. He's gotten some stuff wrong. Yeah.
Some of the things that he posts I think are really gross.
Mm-hmm.
And also legacy media does have a level of like fact checks and editorial approval.
Okay.
And somebody going over certain things before you go there.
And that's fair. And I think he's gotten nailed on that a few times, where you jump right to the gun. And I've had opportunities, like even with what I'm doing, to like, oh, somebody's a whistleblower. I'll be like, let's hold the phone on that. Because my gut, maybe my instincts tell me not to.
Yeah.
But yeah.
We've gotten to the point where there are so many people on Twitter who are just tweeting breaking news, and they're like, just posting God knows what. I don't trust them. Do I trust the Boston Globe? Yes. So, that's the thing that I think is different. I'm not going to just trust anyone on Twitter who's saying breaking news.
Yeah.
But like a lot of people do that.
Yeah. Yeah. I can't say that I trust the Boston Globe, but that's another story. So moving on from Karen Reed, because I think, I'll ask your opinion. Do you think she was innocent?
Here's the thing. I feel like I am the type of person who would accidentally run over someone. Like, I just feel like this is the type of thing that would happen to me.
Okay.
I don't know. And I feel like I can never know. I also, I don't want to ever say yes or no on anything. I don't know. I just don't know.
All right. Well, that's your reporter. I'll say, just for the record, the how long to die in the cold, wiping their cell phones, rehoming the dog, selling their house.
Where is Chloe?
Yeah.
I had a conversation the other day with some friends. Where the hell is Chloe?
I think New Hampshire. I remember
Living on a farm?
Yeah, right. Yeah. But, the autopsy photos I saw, you're going to tell me those scratches on the arm were from from a car, like just no. The young man with the bloody knuckles a few days after, like it's, you know, the autopsy photos of John O'Keefe's face, like it's not even debatable to me in some level. And I understand where you're coming from on when you have to say that, but for this, it's like, I'll listen to everybody's side, but
yes,
when the overwhelming physical evidence, because this is the other part, the prosecution only had witnesses, and then the few pieces of physical evidence, like the broken taillight, was tons of problem. It was very problematic, and so how they obtained that broken taillight, when it was actually broken, why didn't they find it in the snow, all that kind of stuff. Like it was just like days later the pieces of the taillight appear, that kind of stuff. I was just like, oh, okay, this is. I don't know what happened at the house. I don't know who did what, but there's way more evidence pointing to her actually not doing it in my mind than her doing it. So anyway, I mean, I'm glad she didn't go to jail. Yeah. I have it on pretty good authority that from relationships, personal people I know, that the feds can't do anything right now unless something gets reopened, which is a shame. So it's sort of going to go unsolved.
Yeah, it's really unfortunate for his family, of course.
They're not going to get closure.
That poor mother,
Yeah. So I know it's sad thing, but it was. I mean, it dominated everything. We were talking about it at barbecues last year. Because of
everyone.
That whole trial.
Yeah,
just totally. The other thing I saw in I'm just going to pull up
go for it.
Your X page here, and I'll switch over to this because this is. It's wild to me when, by the way, everybody at home, I got a TV. So let me go this. All right, so got to go back over here, go over to this. All right, so the Sex in the City ended.
And just like that,
and just like that. All right, so I want you to give, let me go back to this for a second. Sex in the City. And just like that, I have a big problem with this show.
Oh, you do?
Oh yeah,
Please tell me you watched it.
I didn't watch And Just Like That. I should. Well, my wife watched it, and I would walk through the living room and I would catch scenes and I would start commenting about my personal opinions on so Carrie wrote a novel, right? Yes, she did. So Carrie writes this novel, and at the end of the novel, her book publisher says, "Well, okay, but we're waiting for it to end." And she's like, "What are you talking about? I wrote the ending." And she's like, she just winds up being alone.
Yes.
And I tell my wife, I'm like, pause. I'm like, this is it. This is everything. This is everything about that show. It's like meta. It was like within itself. They're going to wind up alone. Yeah. The way they behaved throughout their 30s when they were just sassy and eating sushi are going to wind up alone. And, I hated the show originally.
You did?
Yes. Because Aiden, she should have fucking stayed with Aiden from the very beginning, and the goddamn motherfucking writers on that show, or maybe it was Sarah Jessica Parker. She just breaks up with him for really no reason. Like, he was a good man, and they could have had a good life together. Yeah, and she just was like, "Oh well, I gotta be me." And it's just like, what do you just detach from reality? It bugged me so much that if you think about it, before this new iteration of And Just Like That. I think that seeps into the culture on some level, where it fucks people up, where they're like, well, any little thing that goes wrong in a relationship, all right, I'll just bail and be me. It's like, no.
Well, I think there was more to it than that. I mean, he never was really trusting of her after she cheated on him with her ex-boyfriend.
Well, but she shouldn't have cheated on him, right?
Yeah, certainly. But
but again, to the point. Like, why? But they wrote in a good character and a good man. Yeah. In that sense that I think it was a good. It would have been. And I'm not saying that she was the main character, and there were other characters that did settle down and I guess go on to lead more of a prototypical life. Yes, but certainly. So what were you were? Let me pull it up here. Where is it?
I loved the original series very much. I thought the writing was exceptional. And I am like deeply ashamed to admit that I watched this new series every Thursday as it premiered. I'm not like a hater of it. I will say I'm like, it takes a lot for me to hate something. You know, I found it, well, first of all, I love real estate, and the real estate on the show is stunning. So anything like that, and I'm also watching it for the close, so that I'm just, you know, eager to watch. So I'm always eager to watch that. I want something light and fun and happy in a world that's not always light and fun and happy.
Right.
But certainly, so in the first season, when they first came back, they were trying so hard to kind of remedy a lot of things that they didn't do in the first series.
You mean the original?
Yes,
Sex
in
and
the
City.
original
Okay,
Sex
so
and the
what were
City.
they trying to remedy?
So it was very, very white in the original one.
True.
So they were trying to like diversify it.
Okay.
But they were trying a little too hard,
All right.
and it came across as very forced.
Well, I mean, that's what, when they try to do that, that's what it always comes across. It's not organic. Oh, was that when Jennifer Hudson was in the show?
No, that was in one of the movies.
That was one of the movies.
She was cute. She was in one of the movies. No, in the series, the first season of And Just Like That, it was very forced. They had Carrie be on a podcast, and she was with a bunch of younger people, and it would be like, oh, you know, we're just gonna, you know, represent a bunch of different races and genders, and but it wasn't in a kind of genuine way that reflected the world. It just seemed as if they were just trying to be like, we're going to check a bunch of boxes.
They crowbarred it in.
Yeah. It wasn't just really reflective of modern society, which is, you know, just normal. And so people really kind of understood that and were just kind of put off by it.
Okay.
And there was a lot of kind of cringy moments. They had Miranda leave Steve, who was just the tenderest little pup.
But see what? Okay,
Miranda.
Why did they? How did he leave?
So they had him in the series, and he's just the sweetest thing. I mean, they were trying to create conflict to create a good series, but they had her cheat on Steve with Che Diaz, a non-binary comedian. And the thing is, Che Diaz, the non-binary comedian, was not a very good comedian, as anyone who watched it could tell you. And there was like this terrible sex scene between them in a kitchen, and Carrie had like a hip replacement, and Miranda and Che Diaz are having sex in the kitchen. It's just, the whole thing's so uncomfortable.
Okay.
It's just not something you want to watch.
Yeah.
Whereas the sex scene should be something you want to watch.
Yeah, of course.
And it just wasn't very good. Miranda becomes an alcoholic, but kind of like a really like annoying alcoholic, you know, the type who like will stand up every time she speaks in a 12-step meeting, which is like the person everyone hates.
Okay.
Nobody wants that. And so she's kind of lost herself. She just becomes, they made the characters caricatures of themselves. Whereas in the beginning, Miranda was such a cool person. Like, I related to her. Like, she was an independent lawyer. She didn't, you know, she kind of just did her own thing. She was sassy. She wasn't really buying into, you know, this whole thing that you had to end up getting married and having children. Yet in the end, she ended up getting married and having children, which was such a really kind of refreshing thing, because she found that that was something that worked for her.
Yeah. Well, it works for most people. I mean, if
so
you look
don't
at
you think that's really refreshing?
Yes, but right. So I think that show did damage, and I'll say this to women of a certain generation, my generation, where it was. I think the characters, or at least Carrie, and definitely, you know, I mean, Samantha wasn't in the second.
No, she wasn't.
Iteration.
Which was part of why it sucked.
Right, because she was funny.
Yes, hilarious.
But they were you know, Charlotte was always the nice one, but maybe other than Charlotte, they were all selfish characters, right? At the end of the day, they just were like, if things, they would do whatever they wanted to do rather than tough it out and work through something. Because I think And I think a lot of people, single, people who just took that vibe and be like, all right, anything goes wrong, fuck it, I'm out. And it's like, okay, you can do that. Like, it's a free country. But long term, it's like, it's going to not pay dividends, because what makes lasting relationships, friendships, is like not saying, fuck it. And be like, hey, what's going on? Like, let's figure this out and work through it.
At the same time, they had these wonderful multi-decade relationships with each other.
True.
That totally did work out. So I think that's wonderful.
How realistic is that, though, for like friendships, though, you think? Because I think when most people pair off, like, I think Charlotte and the bald guy, was he a lawyer? Right. So she.
Yes, Harry.
Harry. So that was so she married, what's his face? Kyle MacLachlan.
Yes.
Right. Okay. So they get divorced because of problems. And then she meets the divorce lawyer. So now it's all coming back to me.
Yes.
and so winds up having a nice marriage after that.
Yes.
Fact. But I think in the real world, it's like, you're going to see your friend, once you get married and have kids, you're seeing your friends once a year, honestly, like your old friends. It's just how it works out, because maybe a couple times a year, whatever, or develop new friendships or things like that. And I just anecdotally, my experience on it, I just find that it just shifts. It just shifts because your life becomes the person you're with on a day-to-day basis. But I didn't like I guess maybe it comes down to the main character, Carrie, was she blew what I thought would be a good relationship with the nice guy in the original series. And if the series didn't continue, and then actually in her novel, it's sort of just, she says, no, I'm going to be alone, right? That's how she winds up. I just think you're going to be like, you're going to meet people throughout your life. You want to spend time with them, build a relationship, and it's going to get rocky.
Well, keep in mind, her husband died.
He did in the show, but
Yeah.
but they wrote that. I just think the original damage was done from the original series, where it's like they're playing makeup. I got to be honest, I didn't watch And Just Like That.
So they kill off her husband.
I remember
beginning.
hearing
yes.
that. Yeah.
So that's why she ended up alone. It's because they killed him off on the Peloton.
Yeah. Right. What, do you have a heart attack or something?
Yes. Yeah. I don't agree with that entirely. I see it, maybe I probably see it differently because I'm a 40-year-old single woman, but, I am still incredibly close with the women I went to college with and several women I went to high school with. And it might be different for men, I will say.
It's entirely different for men. Yeah.
Whereas, I am on group chats where I talk to these women all the time. I know their children. If they have children, I see them. But I am the type of person who makes an effort to do so.
Good.
So I think it's definitely probably different for men. So I think
how many of those friends, I'm out of curiosity, how many of those friends wound up getting married versus staying single or not?
I think, now that I'm 40, there is kind of like a wave of like the first divorce era.
Oh, okay.
But none of my college besties have gotten divorced, and so now of my 5 best friends from college, so half are married and half are single.
Really, half?
Yeah.
But with the half that are single, maybe half of that half is divorce, or most
none
of them
have been divorced.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you'd say half your friends from college are still single?
Yeah. Of 5 of us, so maybe
small sample size.
3 are married and 2 of us are single. Yeah.
Okay. All right. What's walk me through, so you're an attractive woman, you're smart, you driven, you're accomplishing goals, good personality, this is a good hang, right? So what, no interest in it, or just finding the right guy?
I would like to get married. I just haven't found somebody to want to get married to.
Okay.
Yeah, and I will say probably because I spend so much damn time working, I probably am not super focused on it. I keep saying oh my God, I'm going to be a little bit better about creating a work-life balance, but I'm not very good at it. I'm not averse to marriage at all. I have wonderful examples of marriage in my life. And, my parents were married for 40 years. So everything I have because I was raised by exceptional human beings. So I have a wonderful example of that. I mean, I've also seen, terrible divorces, of course.
Right.
So no, I just haven't met the right person. I'm not.
Are you dating?
I'm always dating. Yeah.
Okay.
I'm not the type of person. I'm not looking to birth my own children. I mean, I'm 40. I don't know how easy that would be.
It gets tougher.
It gets tougher. Yeah. I just know, and I mean, I'll be straight up honest. When I look at like the mothers in my life, when I look at my own mother, I do not possess the selflessness to be a mother.
I don't. I'm not. That's of course, where you are and what you see it. I think sort of though it comes upon you.
Yeah, you find it when you do it.
It's like for men. It's until that little human being is here and in front of you, you're like, and then it just sort of becomes real.
Yeah. Do you have kids?
Yeah, I have a daughter.
You do? How old is she?
She's 13. It's a nightmare.
My God. You're a girl dad.
Yeah. I love it. But something kicks in men for sure when that, or maybe it doesn't for, maybe if they're not a good man or something like that, it doesn't. But you sort of go into provider, protector mode more, meaning I worked harder. I still work hard. I always worked hard at what I wanted to work hard but now it's just okay, no, I'm going to work hard at all the things I do. I want to move, I want to provide, because it's and not because some societal pressure, it's because it's you have this internal drive to be that. Yeah. And for sure it was overdrive and has stayed that way since I had my daughter. And I think probably kicks in I would assume for a lot of guys, it's the same thing, right? It's just once it materializes. Yeah. Maybe that's the case for women. I don't know, where it's just you can't fathom it because it's not real. When you don't have kids, you can't conceptualize what it's like having the kid until the kid's there. Yeah. But what is it like dating in, I guess, Boston now? I mean, look, I got
odd
because I say this, there's a whole online discourse, especially on X, of the man. You heard of it, you would know this, the manosphere and all this. Yeah.
I don't know the manosphere.
You don't know the manosphere? No. Oh well.
I should know this. I have 4 older brothers, so I'm very interested.
This is the pushback of what many would call the feminization of a lot of aspects of society, right? So where it's girl boss and the future is female shirts and stuff like that. And it's okay, the sort of pushback from some very bad examples online, and I'm not going to mention any names. And there were also some very good ones where it's or toxic masculinity, that's toxic masculinity. It's well, wait a minute, maybe it's just toxic behavior. Why are you associating it to masculinity? Because masculinity, I think, can be a positive force for good in society. But now I think it's tougher. What am I trying to say here? As toxic as I think some of the attitudes in Sex and the City, the original series, were, I think there was the same type of stuff for men with Maxim magazine or Entourage, another HBO show, right, where it was just nobody settles down. You're a player until your 40s, and it doesn't look, where there's this aspect. There's fun, which going to the club and dating and one girl after another and playing them off is that can be fun for a long time, and then there's fulfillment, and the fulfillment you get from having a family versus the fun. The fulfillment's just way better, right? So to watch my daughter grow up, even though she's, giving me headaches left and right, I wouldn't trade it for anything in the world. And I look at that and I go, okay, well, maybe I should have done it sooner, but the women I was with at the time, it wouldn't have been, a good situation. It wouldn't have worked out well. And God help them if they ever watch this, but but so it wouldn't have worked out well. But like, I don't know how to reconcile this to say, when should you settle down at 24, right? Like, but then there's this big chunk of life where you might feel like you missed out on it. Because I didn't miss out on anything. I met my wife when around the time I turned 30, so I had my whole 20s, college. It's like, okay, I've been there and done that, and it's like it gets old. And there was drinking every weekend and going out and doing all that stuff. So that's unhealthy and not good. But then you shift to something more stable and more traditional, and people are just doing it later now. And there's I have somebody in our life that she just had her first baby in her 50s.
Yeah. Wow.
So it's totally possible.
Yeah.
Right. You can still do that, but I wonder if people are robbing themselves by saying like, no, I want to line up my career first. I want to line up this first. Or and it's just like, you know what? Like, that's all good, but it's never going to be perfect. All your ducks aren't going to be in a row. If you like the person you're with, you have a good time with them, you care about them, you love them, and there's no like major red flags, go for it. There's never going to be that time where you're just like, oh, well, now's the time.
Yeah.
It's like, it's never going to be quote unquote a good time. A good time to do it. So back to, but I can only imagine what dating is like now. Like, I have no desire. I would have no desire to even get involved with it. I mean, are they all schmucks or what?
No, not at all. It's odd. They're definitely not all schmucks, but also I tend to, unfortunately, want to see the good in people. And I think that's just my perspective on things.
That's not a bad thing.
No, it's not a bad thing. But I think, I think people tend to gravitate to me because they know that I'm like a happy, like relatively sane person. But people who are not happy or relatively sane tend to gravitate to me because of that.
How good is your radar in detecting that then?
Not always very good.
Okay.
Because I want to be like, oh, they're working on themselves. Like, they're trying to do good.
What's the Venn diagram look like to how tall and handsome and in shape they are? How much you're willing to put up?
That's not the case at all. It's if I just want to see the good in people, and sometimes I can have blinders on sometimes, and that's not the good. It's not a good perspective.
Yeah. Well, I think that's why it takes, when you get to know people, if you take time to get to know them, and sort of don't rush into it, and it's not some the passionate love affairs that you get into when you're like older. You sort of your radar. I'm very grateful. My radar, got better. Certainly got better when in my early my mid-20s, where I was just like, it was a sliding scale. The radar started getting better where it was like, oh, this woman's insane and an alcoholic, and I'm not doing that. And there was points where I remember one date where it was like we went out to the clubs on like Lansdowne. So this is in the early 2000s.
Yeah.
So we go to the clubs in Lansdowne, and she proceeds to get annihilated, and I was like driving, so I was sipping club soda because I was responsible. I was like, I'm driving. I'm not getting into trouble. And it was just such a waste of space. Drove her back to her apartment. I was like, all right, have a good night. It was like that scene from Goodfellas where I just kind of like patted her on the back and sent her on her way. I was like, that was growth for me. I remember that moment where I said, okay, yeah, and then there was, relationships after that where I was just like, okay, well, then I thought it was better, but and some I wasn't in the right place. I needed to figure out what I wanted to do with my life. But it's if you are aware of it and you're working on it, it definitely gets better. Your radar gets better. Yeah. So do you is it the dating apps? Do you use the dating apps?
I don't use the dating apps.
Okay.
But I was thinking about maybe I should start. And the stories that my friends tell me are wild. One of my friends recently went out with a guy she met on a dating app, and then she went on that website, Are We Dating the Same Guy? And another girl had posted, and it was the guy who had just went out under a completely different name. Same guy.
Oh, wow.
Oh, yeah.
That's insane.
Yeah.
Are we dating the same guy?
Oh, yeah. It's a Facebook page. Yeah.
It's a Facebook page?
Yeah, it's a Facebook page. Are we dating the same guy? Yeah.
Okay. I was going to pull it up, but
Yeah.
so I've heard, I don't know, dating apps. I did online dating before I met my wife because that's back when Match.com, you know, you could still do it on a computer.
Yes.
It was a thing. It just wasn't
on
your
the
phone.
desktop. Yes.
Yeah, on a desktop computer.
It wasn't a swipe right kind of thing.
Yeah, that wasn't as easy it was better. But didn't have much success with it.
Yeah.
Sort of, you know, there were a couple, but I don't know that. I think now it's probably so played out, right? Or maybe.
I don't know. I've been to 2 Tinder weddings.
Really?
Yes. And they both seem lovely.
You
very
know what?
happy.
I shouldn't.
Yeah.
You know what? It depends on who you pick.
Yeah.
Right. So
You never know.
But there's a lot of those dating websites.
There are.
You know what?
There's like, you know, ChristianFarmer.com.
Yeah.
So, yeah, you never know. But yes, I have been to 2 Tinder weddings and they both seem very happy.
Okay. All right. I think that's worth it. Yeah, give it a shot. Why not? Nothing to lose.
No.
Nothing to lose. You might meet a decent guy.
Yeah. Who
That's
knows?
cool. Why do you like Dunkin' Donuts so much?
So that's the thing. It's not that I love Dunkin' Donuts. I like that it's there.
It's everywhere.
Yes. I love the phenomenons of regional chains. So, for instance, I was in Florida last week, and I was like, I want to go to a Wawa. Have you ever been to a Wawa?
I have been to a Wawa.
So I've only been once, but I wanted to try their coffee, and it kind of has the vibes of like a high-end Cumberland Farms / Dunkin' Donuts.
Mm-hmm.
And it's more about the experience. So I wanted to try their coffee.
Did you get a sandwich?
No, I didn't get a sandwich.
I think that's the Wawa experience. That's why everybody loves it so much.
Yes, it is. But I wanted to try their coffee, which was very good, a different kind of experience than Dunkin'. And it was all very much about the experience. And I love regional chains and just the whole kind of journey of being there. I walk outside and there are 3 people just kneeled down praying outside of a Wawa. And it was like the most Florida experience you could ever have.
Did they just randomly praying?
They were like
Or wait, Christians or Muslims?
Christians.
Oh, okay.
Oh, yeah.
I
Do
don't-
they let
yeah.
Muslims in Florida?
They do. It's still part of the United
It
States.
is.
Yeah.
And when I went to like Montreal, I wanted to go to Tim Hortons, which is basically just Dunkin' Donuts in the north.
No, it's not.
Excuse me?
It is greater sign better than Dunkin' Donuts.
Really?
The coffee, Tim Hortons. I go to the supermarket, Market Basket. We need to talk about that.
Yeah.
Well, I buy Tim Hortons coffee at
Really?
the supermarket. Those are my K-cups. It is the best coffee around.
Really?
I am drinking Starbucks today because Starbucks has mastered iced coffee. Iced coffee
Okay.
is phenomenal at Starbucks. I think Dunkin' Donuts is terrible.
Really?
And I may lose my Masshole card for it.
Yeah.
But the coffee. So, did you try the Tim Hortons, or you went to Montreal? Did you
Yes.
try?
I did. I mean, it just I don't drink like fancy ones, so I mean, it was good. It was like nice coffee. I don't like love Dunkin' Donuts coffee. I think for me, 90% of the coffee I drink is coffee at home because fact is I don't want to pay.
But what do you make at home?
Right now I'm drinking like Maxwell House coffee because I got like a crap load of it for free.
It's pretty good.
Yes, but I will also my father trained me very well to make like really fancy coffee sometimes. So I will like grind my own beans, not in Whitey Bulger's coffee grinder, which I am an owner of. I saved that one.
That's on her. That's on her profile.
Yes. I have my father's coffee grinder, which I actually use. And so I'll use anything. I'll make like sometimes very expensive kinds and sometimes very trashy kinds. I like that whole kind of dichotomy of like trash rehab coffee and like a styrofoam cup and like really high-end beans. I love that. I don't want like middle ground.
Okay.
I mean, I'll drink anything, let's face it. I want like tar like in the bottom.
Yeah. Yeah.
And so the fact that people spend so much money on coffee every day boggles my mind.
I make it at home.
Yes.
Because there's no Tim Hortons around here.
That's so funny.
And I've gotten into this habit because my coffee drinking is seasonal.
Okay.
I drink iced until the temperature steadily is below 60 degrees.
Okay.
And then I'll switch back over to hot.
Okay.
But Tim Hortons, I'll make the coffee. I'll have a plastic container, right? And I'll throw it in the fridge the night
Okay.
before. And then I have my iced coffee ready in the morning. If I'm rushing or I forget, I'll make the Tim Hortons that morning. I'll throw it in the freezer to cool it down real quick. But then it's still kind of warm and it melts the ice and stuff like that. But Tim Hortons, this is not a paid advertisement for Tim Hortons, but it should be. I should get. I swear, it's just tastes better. It's good coffee. Dunkin' Donuts. I'm sorry. I know it's a Massachusetts institution. It is. It's drinkable.
Yeah.
I can drink when there's a Dunkin' around and it's cold, I'll get an extra large with an espresso shot.
Okay, yeah.
And black with a little bit of sugar. That's how I take my coffee.
Yeah.
Not even black, but Starbucks and some from time to time is probably just stick with their iced, but I cannot exist now without my coffee. And it needs to be like smooth. It's like it's just watery for Dunkin'. I don't know what the
It's not.
I'm surprised because if you're that much of a coffee connoisseur, you would think that you.
I know you would think I wouldn't just drink anything. Yeah. I will. No. And Dunkin', the thing I think of probably what I actually like about it is that at home I generally am drinking black coffee. So to me, like going to Dunkin' is a treat because I'll get some milk in it. So that's kind of like the rarity. So if I am like, oh, it's a treat because I'm going to Dunkin' and I'm willing to spend a few bucks on it. But compared to other places, it is much cheaper.
Okay. I have two more questions for you. One, Market Basket.
Amazing.
Market Basket, I've switched because I used to go Stop and Shop.
Well, did you see, you probably didn't see the headline in the Globe today that Stop and Shop is lowering their prices at 3,000 stores.
Well, maybe but I buy a lot of produce. I try to eat healthy.
Oh, look at you.
Fruits and vegetables. The quality of the Stop and Shop that I used to go to of the produce has slipped. It used to be great, and I used to go there specifically because it was great produce. And then maybe after the pandemic, it just never, whatever they're sourcing, it just never came back. But Market Basket has really good produce.
Beautiful produce. And
a great seafood section. And we try to eat seafood once a week. Nice fish and I remember because you posted this on X.
Oh God, what'd I do?
No, it was just like the playlist. The playlist of the music at Market Basket is fantastic.
It is.
I will be out there going like, I'm singing like,
yes,
and it's not the same at you. No. It's like 80s and 70s mix, but some 60s thrown in there, and then they'll throw in a newer pop song.
Yes,
and it's at the right volume.
Yes,
and it's evenly dispersed throughout the store. Whatever the speaker.
It's good. They know
it's good.
That as
how did
they? I don't know. Somebody needs to write that story.
Well, what's the deal with them going on right now? I'm not familiar with the drama. You're the reporter. What do you know?
I don't totally understand it, but it is. I would watch a Succession themed drama on this. Basically, I don't totally understand it, but the infighting between the brothers Damula is fascinating.
Yeah. I mean, some brothers want to take it over and the sisters don't or something?
Yeah, I don't totally understand it, and I'm not super knowledgeable about it, but it seems to be all familial infighting. But when we talk about, everyone's fighting to get, the Karen Reed movie deal. If that, I want the Market Basket movie deal.
Yeah. It's fascinating to me. Like it is such an institution here in Massachusetts that when there's problems at the store, potential strikes, potential closings, like politicians get involved.
Yeah.
Yeah. They really do care about, it's the newer Market Baskets are phenomenal.
Yeah.
Like, even there's one up in, I want to say Lowell. It's just like gorgeous.
Yeah.
They've done it right. Whatever it is that they're doing, they shouldn't change anything.
Yeah.
They shouldn't change anything. They're gonna break it if they like keep it the way it is.
Yeah.
And it's pretty damn good. But yeah, the playlist at Market Basket is
so
phenomenal.
Good. Everyone needs a little John Cicada.
Yeah. Yeah. Or Sade. Sade was on there the other day. I'm like, sweetest taboo.
I live next door to Shaw's, so sadly I go there. So
Shaw's is good. But it's a little pricey.
It's a little sad too.
Yeah.
It has depression.
Oh no.
Yeah, it has depression. But I do go there.
So okay, last question before we wrap up. It's been a while. It's pretty good. You wrote it like I'm a tennis nut. You wrote an article on tennis a while ago that did it get published anywhere? I missed it.
No, it did. It got published in print, but they didn't put it online. I can't figure out why.
Oh, what was it about? Because you couldn't say what it was about. I remember replying to you.
Yes.
And then,
it was at the Nahant Tennis Club, and it was about there's like a special tennis anniversary in Nahant that was played there. So they were all wearing like the actual like historic tennis garb, and it was like 90 degrees in July.
Oh yeah.
And they were all playing in this, and a lot of like elderly people. It was adorable. And what was it playing? I don't even remember, but it was like about a historic tennis event.
Okay.
There, yeah.
Okay, I'll look it up.
I know. I don't understand why they didn't put that online.
Yeah, Nahant's a weird spot.
Dude,
it's beautiful, but it's
beautiful.
Weird.
I sadly learned that you cannot walk off Nahant.
Why not? Wasn't there the land bridge? What do you mean not walk?
No, you can't walk off there.
Explain.
So basically, me being somebody who like walks everywhere thinks that you can just like walk off that bridge back into Lynn.
Yeah. Why?
No, you can't.
Why?
It's like a 2-lane highway with no walking. There's no like
There's no sidewalk.
Yeah. No. So you're basically getting it run over.
Oh, okay. So do they not allow you to?
There's nowhere for you to go.
Okay.
It like the walking spot like ends. So I like had to like find a. Well, first I was walking around this adorable neighborhood in Nahant, and I'm like, does anyone have a coffee shop? Like they must thought I was like cracked out. I was like, do you know anywhere there's a coffee shop? Like just trying to find like a Wi-Fi and coffee, and they were like, oh no, like wrong neighborhood. And then I couldn't find any way back into Lynn.
Okay. Nahant's an odd place.
Very odd.
But it's beautiful.
It is beautiful.
You get the views of the city and the harbor. It's just like this random pocket of nice beach homes in Boston Harbor that's still connected to land, and you can just kind of get there.
Very strange, but very nice.
Yeah. All right. Let me just review maybe my topics here that I had some lined up. I emailed myself. I called it Megan Topics.
Mm-hmm.
Bike lanes. Oh, okay. How's it? Go.
I mean, what are we going to do when the mayoral race is over and people cannot tweet about the motherfucking bike lanes? I'm going to die.
Michelle, who's going to re-erect them?
I mean, I don't understand what's going to happen. I love the controversy over bike lanes. I don't have a dog in the fight because I only ride a bike on the bike path because I am the type of person who would get hit by a car.
Right.
Like flat out.
And you don't drive. We should point that out.
I don't drive. I'll drive around like Connecticut. I just don't have a car.
Yeah.
I mean, basically, I save so much money by riding the train everywhere.
If you live in the city and you
I have no need to.
Yeah, you don't need it.
I think in like 10 years maybe I'd like to, but I have no need to. And so I take the train or walk like everywhere. And I love how everything has become about bike lanes.
Bike lanes are, and it should be about bike lanes.
Should it though?
Yes, absolutely. I hate bike lanes. Okay, first of all, we live in Massachusetts. Mm-hmm. The weather sucks here 50% of the time at minimum. And for 3 of those months, nobody's riding a bicycle. Bicycle riding is a seasonal hobby, and because somebody spent their senior year abroad in Amsterdam or something, they got the bright idea that we need to import that culture of lots of bicycles crowding sidewalks and streets here because it's better and it's more eco-friendly or whatever their reasoning behind it. But the truth of the matter is they're impractical. The streets were made for cars. Like before, when it was horse and buggy, you ever look at those old-timey photos of like Com Ave? It's like 50 yards wide, the thoroughfare that they have. And so they paved it over. They made it for cars. And now it's like, well, bicyclists need to get there. And I just want to say, it's like, well, I don't want to, I'm not really a libertarian, but more like, okay, if you want to ride your bike around Boston, be my guest. Mm-hmm. But don't start forcing, there's no bicycle tax. There's no bicycle tolls. They're not paying for this. I'm still taxed on it. I'm getting, they're building this infrastructure for bike lanes, and it's making life more difficult for everybody else for the tiniest portion of insane people that will bite your head off because they're like, they think they're morally superior for riding a bicycle.
Now, as somebody who doesn't drive, so I'm not familiar, why is it making your life more difficult? Because it makes more traffic?
More traffic. Even the businesses where they put the bike lanes up, people can't park. They've taken away parking spaces, so you can't pull up and drop. 2 lanes down to 1. Boylston Street. They the evidence that they're not working and people hate them is clear by the behavior. I think they had the one on Boylston Street, and over the past year or so, past 12 months, it's disappeared.
Yeah,
they disappeared that bike lane. Like a Whitey Bulger victim. Just brushed it aside. They got rid of it. Look, if people want to ride their bike to work or a decent amount of distance, there should be maybe one dedicated street, just not all over the place, just east and west, north and south, and then you get off and you walk your bike down the sidewalk. It's not New York City. The sidewalks are not jammed with people, I think, and people get pissed off because most of the bike lanes stay empty.
Have they done a study of how many people are using them?
I'm sure some bicycle advocates have done a study that
has some non-bicycle advocates.
My own empirical evidence is when I was driving into Cambridge or Somerville, and the best days would be warm, sunny spring days. If it rained, empty. Cold, empty. Most of them were empty. The busier ones over by Tufts and in Medford, Somerville. There's some good traffic there, but generally, here's the thing: where I saw most of the traffic was people were not even dedicated bike paths. Those are very popular.
Yes,
the bike lanes.
Those are the only place I will ride on.
Yeah, which makes sense because it's just bicycles. So,
I think, it is the downside. I do think it is very dangerous to ride with traffic.
It is, yeah, especially with people not paying attention on their phones.
Yes. Oh my God, yes. I watched a woman drive through the Marshall's parking lot the other day with her phone in front of her, and I was like, hello, bitch. But yes, no, I had an ex-boyfriend who was a cyclist, and he got hit by a car once. Mm-hmm. I think it's so dangerous. And there's so many cyclists who get hit and killed. I don't know.
Look, when I was in the city, I did not have a bicycle. I walked. At the time, taxis is before Uber, train, bus. You can get around very easily. You should walk. Walk. It's what's safer.
They're going farther distances on bikes, though.
But they're not going any further distances that the T can't take them.
Oh yeah, no, but
yeah. They're close to a bus line or a train line for sure, So all right, well, I think Josh Kraft, the best thing he does, and it looks. I don't know what the polling will be in September or October, but I think he found a good issue with that because that was the best response he had with the bike lanes. But then we'll see how the mayoral's race. Did I get anything? All right. Weed smell.
Weed smell. Oh my God. Everyone is smoking weed 24/7 in Boston.
Yeah.
Bring back cigarettes. Okay. No.
Let me tell you something. I was leaving the gym the other day, and then I went over to the Whole Foods and I wanted to check out something, and they were out of it. I was going to get a bag of chopped salad. They didn't have it. I was walking back to my car, and just wafting through the air was that smell, that cigarette smell. It brings you back to Little League when the parents would go to the parking lot or off to the side and smoke that butt. And now I don't like being in a room with cigarette smoke. I didn't like being in a bar with cigarette smoke because you reek of it the next day. But something at that Marlboro Light that just...
Yes,
it's almost pornographic. How
smells like an angry dad.
Yeah, it's perfect.
A Miller genuine, drink a Miller genuine draft.
But in the summer,
yes,
when you hear it, when it's so great, And then the weed, that skunk.
Yeah,
it's everywhere.
It doesn't smell good. And I smoked a lot of weed. I miss smoking cigarettes so much. I love the smell of cigarettes. I understand they're deadly. They will kill you, but I love to smoke cigarettes.
There is something attractive.
Oh my God.
And if we're being honest, cigarettes are cool.
They are cool.
They are cool.
They will kill you, but
if
they
you
are
look
cool.
just,
Oh my God. All I want,
you're cool.
you can invent the COVID vaccine and you can't give me a nutritious cigarette. Like, come on.
There's got to be a way to do that.
There's got to be a way.
Oh man, yeah, cigarettes.
But it's everyone smells like weed. I was on the freaking like East Boston bike path, like, or everyone's like exercising, and this guy's like reeks of weed.
I was mowing my lawn the other day, and one of my neighbors was blazing.
Really?
I live in the suburbs.
Yeah.
And it's surprising. It's like, all right, well, I look around, I'm like, all right, who's doing that? Because I'm wondering.
Yeah. So
because it was in the middle of the day.
So you went over to his house after you guys mowed. You were like, sup.
What do you got?
Yeah.
What you doing?
Yeah.
What you up to? Oh God, no weed. Last time I tried weed, a few years ago, and it's like everybody says this, but it is not the same as when you're younger, or 20 years ago when we were in college.
Really?
I took 2 to 3 puffs, and I was in orbit.
You were in another dimension?
I was in another dimension for 2 hours. Going like, and then, oh my God, the dry mouth. I felt like an alien had sucked the water out of my body, because the next day it was so bad. I was so hungover. I'm like, oh my God, this is why I remember why I hated this. And it wasn't like the trade-off of the super duper high for that hangover. Not even worth it. But it was like, the high didn't even like, it was just, I was like, ugh.
Yeah.
Didn't like it.
No.
Didn't like it.
Do you know, that happened to me like 2 or 3 years ago at a cookout. Well, I mean, it was my mom's backyard, and the neighbors like invited their like landscaping staff over.
Okay.
And so they brought over like a bunch of cookies, and I was like, oh, like that's so nice. And like me having no self-control, I ate like 3 cookies. And I was like, these are the perfect chocolate chip cookies. And this was kind of like it must have been kind of much more during COVID. So I was like, what's happening? Like, did I just contract COVID? Like, what's happening? And I was like, am I having a stroke? Like, what's happening? And I'm such a hypochondriac. So
if you don't know that you've taken it.
Not a clue. And I was like, what is happening? And so I didn't even have like the enjoyable high. I just went straight to, am I dying?
Yeah.
And so I couldn't figure out what was wrong with me. And I was supposed to be like going to this like family event with my mom, and I'm just lying on my bed just thinking I'm dying. And finally, she's like, what is wrong with you? And then she was like, did you eat something? And I was like, I ate like 3 of those cookies that the neighbors, like landscapers, brought over. And she's like, oh my God, I bet there was something in those. And she called the neighbor, and yeah. Then
just weed though.
Just weed.
Okay.
But,
But still,
yeah.
Yeah, that'll knock you on your ass.
Yeah, I ate an entire bag of goldfish.
Well, that was the other thing. When I smoked weed, it would be like, you just ravenously.
Oh my
hungry.
God.
Order up a pizza, house the whole pizza.
Oh my God.
Yeah, it was crazy.
Yeah.
All right. We've said a lot.
We've said a lot.
This has been great. I've had a great time.
I've had a great time too.
Hopefully the audience has had a good time too and enjoyed this and getting to know you if they don't know you already. Because I think you're one of my favorite writers.
Thanks.
I can't wait till anything you post, I read.
Thank you.
You're very funny. You're a great follow on X.
Oh, thank you.
I wish you luck. I wish you luck in your career.
Thank you.
In dating. Fellas, she's single.
Oh my God.
Go at her. No, hey, you never know. Somebody's willing to, let me put her, your Twitter, your X handle, but they should just go back to Twitter. And
I know.
I mean, I know Elon, I try to crowbar it in. It doesn't make any sense.
No.
So she is Megan Johnson, at Megan Sarah J. Very talented writer. I wish you luck in your novel, in your condo, and go buy some Tim Hortons coffee at Market Basket.
Yeah, I might have to try that.
It's excellent. It's outstanding. And you will be a convert. I will keep an eye out for whatever you're reading now. I'd love to maybe in the future have you back on. We'll talk some other stuff. This has been fun.
Yes.
This is what I wanted to do with some of these other shows. But all right, we're going to wrap up for now. Appreciate everybody watching, and go follow Megan if you haven't already. And if you have, go read her stuff and go tell the people to pay her more when she writes that stuff.
Yeah.
All right. Cool. Thanks for tuning in. Take care. Bye-bye.